G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League, and to start off I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's been subscribing recently. I've had a few, so thanks very much for that. So my team is the same, so Diggersby, Skarmory and Galvantula, running, well, Diggersby, Mudshot, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Skarmory, Air Slash, Sky Attack and Brave Bird. Galvantula is Volt, Switch, Lunge and Discharge. So I'll link to my previous matches, so you can have a look at those as well if you like. I've got them all. So on this first match we have outcomes Bastiodon. They swap into a Politoed and I counter into my Galvantula here. I'm going to throw the lunge and hope to grab a shield, and I was able to grab that shield, so happy days. They're going to get into their next weather ball, which is fine, and I'm going to shield that up, and then we're going to go straight into another lunge. We'll see if they want to shield up a second time. I don't know that they will. Oh, they've shielded up a second time, so this is absolutely outstanding. This weather ball's double debuff, so it's not actually going to do enough to KO. Out comes the Bastiodon, and I'm going to be able to throw another lunge there, debuff that, even though Bastiodon really has no play against Diggersby, which is why I wanted to maintain switch advantage. So I am expecting that to swap out, and it does. Swaps into the Tropius, so whenever someone leads with the Bastiodon, always makes me think of the Grass Hole team, and usually they do have a something grass in the back, so when they swap in, you sort of got to wait for that. So they left the game there. It was GG's at that point. It was well and truly a game over. So left that one and didn't make us play it out, which is very, very nice. So thank you very much. We'll jump into the next one and see how we go. So Bomber Snow on the lead is not a great lead. It's not a terrible lead either, but not great. The Fire Punch is going to be double super effective, so going to do a lot of damage if they don't shield it up. But equally, a Bomber Snow is also going to be doing a lot of damage. So want to make sure you don't let it get too much of an energy advantage. I'm going to throw one shield because they've double, and I've got to another Fire Punch. So the Fire Punch should be doing a lot of damage, as you can see. A lot of damage to a Bomber Snow. I'm going to come out with my Galvantula. I do know that they're going to get to another charge move. I'm going to shield that up and look to farm down. So swapped into Skarmory there to farm down, and we'll see how they go. So got a little bit of an energy lead on the Galvantula, and then wanted to come in and get a start on the energy for the Skarmory, and was worried that they were going to get to another charge move with that, a Bomber Snow. So out comes Skarmory, and we'll see how we go. So I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird here, because it's going to obviously do a lot of damage. They throw their charge move. Sky Attack, not quite enough, but I'm going to swap into my Galvantula here and try and charge down. Unfortunately, they get to another Sky Attack before I can charge them down. Out comes the Azumarill, and I've got energy, so happy days. One more Volt Switch to get to a second discharge, and that's going to be enough to KO and take this match. So getting that little bit of a energy lead really, really did help me out there. So happy days. So their backline not looking too good against Galvantula. So it worked out really, really nicely for me there. So we'll jump into this next one, and hopefully we can get another nice match. So we've got Priplup on the lead, so really not good for me, and I'm going to swap into my Skarmory there and try and draw out anything that is sort of rock based. So looking to draw out the Galarian Stunfisk, because you really don't want that matched up against a Galvantula. It's just too glassy for that. So they come out with a Umbreon, and are going to be foul playing down, so that's not too bad for me. Here I'm going to over farm just a little bit, and we'll see what they want to do here. So they're going to throw this charge move, another Sky Attack coming through, and they don't want to shield that up, so fine with me. I'm actually going to shield this up and win switch here, because then now I will be able to farm this down, and I will be able to instantly throw a charge move on whatever it is that comes back out. So it is the Prinplup, or whatever, however you pronounce it, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be able to match my Galvantula up against it, so happy days for me. Out comes their Sceptile, and obviously at this point I know that my Galvantula is the win condition, and I'm not going to shield this up because I do know that the Prinplup has energy, and I'm going to be able to throw the double lunge. They throw the Ice Beam and debuff me and get straight to a second move, so this is not looking good for me. It is the Bubble Beam, so it does absolutely no damage. Happy days. And then I'm going to swap into my Diggersby there, and I know that they're running two moves that do absolutely no damage, so I will be able to get to my Earthquake, even though I've been debuffed. It won't make a difference. At this range, it's going to do enough to KO, so happy days. So once I sort of figured out that they had the two debuffing moves, worked out really well for me, because to be honest, I had no idea what that thing was going to be running, whether it was going to be running a Surf or something along those lines. I'll have to look it up and see, because I very much don't know the counts for that. So Shadow Hypno on the lead. So this one's not bad for me. So usually what I'll do here is charge up to the Earthquake and then throw the Fire Punch. So here I'm going to let this go, and it is the Thunder Punch bait. So this probably tells me they're running Thunder Punch and Shadow Ball, because they're throwing that bait. So I threw the Fire Punch there. Got no shield, so just going to throw straight into this Earthquake here, because what I'm assuming they're doing is sacking that thing. They do now make a swap into the Azumarill, so I've tried to swap out as quickly as possible. You want to get a fast swap, and I'm looking for a shield here. So debuffed, got the shield, so happy days. I'm going to shield this up. I'm expecting this to be a Ice Beam, but it is actually the Play Rough, so they're probably running Play Rough and Hydro Pump here. Another one's coming through, so I'm actually going to shield this up, so double shielded here, and then I'm going to over farm, just absolutely go to town, farm this thing all the way down, because it is running Play Rough, so they're not going to get to another Ice Beam. So Hypno comes back out, going to throw the lunge there, get the debuff off, and we'll see what they want to do. So out comes the Fire Punch, and it is enough to KO, so that's really not good for me. All that energy gone, but that does mean that I'm going to be able to farm this thing down, and out comes the Umbreon. So going to go straight into the Earthquake, and that goes through, so happy days. Going to swap out after banking a little bit of energy there, and then come in with the Skarmory. So here, what I'm going to do is obviously let them throw the charge moves, because I have absolutely no choice whatsoever. So Umbreon is an absolute tank, but it also doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So going to look to farm this down. Foul Play is going to come through. Not quite enough to KO there. But what I'm going to do instead, I'm just going to throw this Sky Attack, and then out comes Hypno. One fast move later, it goes down, and that's a good game right there. So able to take that game, even with losing all that energy on the Galvantula, so that's really quite unfortunate. So out comes the lead of Azumarill, so not looking good for me, and I swap into my Skarmory, because I do want to try and get that Azumarill matched up with my Galvantula, and I'm just going to go straight into the Sky Attack there, do a little bit of damage, and now I'm considering what do I do here. I'm going to let this go. Hypno is always going to be running, I say always, most of the time, is going to be running Thunder Punch, so going to let that through. So throw the Brave Bird to try and take it out here, and they shield it up, so that's looking real bad for me. I'm going to have to let this go, and then what I'm going to do is come in with my Galvantula here and look to farm this down. So not farm down, to look to catch a charge move. So swap into the Diggersby there and manage to catch a Fire Punch. So that's absolutely perfect. So make them burn some energy there. And then going to start going to town, throwing some Earthquakes with this Diggersby. I'm going to let this go. I expect this to be a Ice Beam, and it is, but that's absolutely fine. So looking to get to another charge move. So able to get to the Fire Punch this time, so not quite as good. As you can see, it does absolutely minimal damage, and it turns out I could have got to the Earthquake, unfortunately, I pulled the trigger a bit early, so I'm going to swap into my Galvantula here because I don't want them farming me down any more than they already are. Come in and fast move farm this down. Let's see what comes out. So out comes the Hypno, so that's okay for me. Going to throw the lunge here, take that out straight away. I don't want it to be getting to a Fire Punch. And out comes the Umbreon. So this is going to be a close one. Unfortunately, I think I've not quite got enough. I'm going to shield this one up because foul play is going to be coming through. Going to look to throw another lunge, and unfortunately they got another fast move through in between, so that's really not looking ideal for me. Able to get to another lunge here, and it's going to be actually a last resort, and that's going to take me out, and then in comes the Diggersby, and they fast move farm me down. So able to go 4 out of 5 there, so really good. And we'll see how this this next one plays out. So for this one, what we'll do is we've got Bastiodon on the lead, so really good lead for me here. But you've got to be careful of the sack swap. Happens a lot, so overcharge, overfarm just a little bit there, and then going to let them throw whatever charge move they want. So Flamethrower comes through, does no damage. It's either Flamethrower or... And when I'm saying watch for the sack swap, there it is. So they managed to get the sack swap off, which is really unfortunate for me. Out comes a Mandibuzz there. Mandibuzz is going to do absolutely nothing for charge move damage, but it is a bit bulky, and because it's flying, it's not ideal. So out comes the Bastiodon again. And I'm just going to go straight for the lunges here, and it's going to farm me down. So not ideal for me there, but we'll jump in and give it another go. So like I said, when someone leads with a Bastiodon, they usually got a grass type in the back, and this is no exception. So out comes good old Venusaur. So leading Bastiodon, you've got to be prepared for the grass type. So thankfully, if people lead Bastiodon, my team can handle that fairly well, especially if you don't let Skarmory get matched up against the Bastiodon, because then you're in an unhappy place. So speaking of which, out comes that Bastiodon, and I'm just going to throw these Sky Attacks here to burn my Switch Clock. And they've decided to throw a move. It's going to be, the Flamethrower, and that's going to be enough to take me out. But I'm absolutely fine with that. Going to let that go. Going to come in with the Earthquake. So really there, I probably should have just thrown the Fire Punch, but I'm going to be able to get to the next Earthquake before they can charge me down anyway, so happy days. So able to get to that Earthquake and KO the Bastiodon there. So that was a very good game for me. So we'll jump into the next one and see what we get. So Bastion leads pretty good if you play it correctly. So you want to be careful of those swaps. And we'll see how we go. So Bastiodon lead 2 games in a row, so insane. So here again, got to be careful of that that swap, and there it is. So there's the swap, and out comes the Scrafty. So Scrafty is a bit of an interesting one, and would have been an idea to probably swap into the Galvantula here, but unfortunately not to be. So going to shield this one up and hoping to get a foul play coming through, but they power up punch me again. So that's really not ideal, and I'm going to have to shield this up or I am going to lose switch advantage, and that's going to be really bad for me. So if I was in their position, I would potentially shield this up. But they decide to let it go, and out comes the Bastiodon. It's going to be able to farm me down. So not looking good. I'm down a shield, but I do have switch. So not an ideal matchup shielding the power-up punches there, but it is what it is. So Flamethrower comes through, does absolutely no damage, and wait for it, and I've fallen... I over-farmed a lot, but they managed to catch that move onto the Altaria. So this is really bad for me. I'm going to throw the lunge, try and debuff, and hope to grab a shield. I am able to grab that shield, but unfortunately, they're going to get to a Sky Attack. Sky Attack almost does enough to KO, and I'm not able to get to another charge move, and there is nothing that Diggersby can do there against the Altaria. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, but unfortunately swapped into the Skarmory there and completely messed up that match. Should have definitely swapped into the Galvantula to start the debuff process. So into the next one, we've got Shadow Hypno on the lead and running Ice Punch. So not looking ideal for me. Probably running, well, Ice Punch and Thunder Punch. They're all basically running Thunder Punch. Throw the Fire Punch, get the shield, and then I'm going to throw straight into the Earthquake, and bang, Earthquake goes through, so happy days. Let's see what they want to do. I'm going to throw the second Fire Punch here, and either they shield or they lose this matchup. So for this one, I know they're running Ice Punch and probably Thunder Punch, so I'm going to come in with my Galvantula, but it's a Shadow Ball, so I was not expecting that. But able to shield up the Shadow Ball. Going to shield up this second one as well. It is going to be the Thunder Punch, and now we're on equal shields, but I've got a lot of energy on my Galvantula. In comes the Machamp, Shadow Machamp there to boot. I'm going to throw that charge move, charge up to a discharge, and try and catch a move, and I'm able to do it. So able to catch the Rock Slide from the Machamp there, and we'll see what they have in the back. And in the back, they've got good old Azumarill. So going to throw the Brave Bird here, and I know that Galvantula will win CMP tie against Azumarill. So as soon as Galvantula comes back in, I can throw the discharge and take that game. So good game right there. So set that up with the energy generation, extra energy generation that I got off of Galvantula. So happy days. So we'll jump into the next one and see how we go. So baiting out that first shield, really important, and getting that Earthquake through. So both really, really nice to be able to do that. So we'll jump into the next one and see what we get. We get another Bastiodon lead. What is with Bastiodons? Did someone do a video on these things to say do it? And again, they swap out into Wishcash. So Wishcash is not ideal for me. I let this one go, and it is a Blizzard, so that's really not looking good for me. Going to let this go because the Mud Bomb's not going to do too much damage. And then going to look to throw the Sky Attack and see if I get a shield. Hopefully I don't, because I do want to win switch advantage, and unfortunately with getting hit by the Blizzard is not ideal, and we'll see how we go. So they will be getting to another Mud Bomb, which they do get to. So I will use a shield here and look to farm this down. Unfortunately, they get to another Mud Bomb. So here I am desperate to win switch, and I do know that the Bastiodon does not throw charge moves, and even if it does, it's going to do absolutely nothing to my going to do absolutely nothing to Diggersby there. So I'll bring Diggersby out and just throw straight into this Earthquake, and there goes their shield. So they're going to throw, I assume, a Flamethrower here, and they throw the Stone Edge. Does absolutely no damage, and out comes a Shadow Jump Bluff. So swap straight into the Galvantula here. Aerial Ace comes through, does a fair bit of damage, but I do obviously get to the Lunge. Lunge is going to be neutral because of the Flying type as well as the Grass type, but it will debuff them. So let's see if I can now throw another one. Aerial Ace comes through again, but I am able to get to another Lunge here. So this is absolutely outstanding. It's going to be enough to take it out, and with one little slither of life left on the Galvantula, works out absolutely perfect for me. Diggersby comes back in, throws the Earthquake, and takes the game with quite a lot of health left over. So had to spend both of those shields on the Wishcash matchup to shield Mud Bombs, which is just painful. But I mean, had to be done. Had to win switch there. Had I not won switch, would have been a very, very difficult game to win. So out comes the Talonflame. So this is an interesting one, and I'm going to throw the Fire Punch here. And very, very interestingly, they managed to swap into the Wigglytuff there to catch that charge move. And then I'm going to come in with my Skarmory and look to farm down. I'm not going to shield this up because when Talonflame comes back in, it's going to absolutely wreck this thing. So not looking ideal, and the Galvantula is going to be able to do super effective because of the Flying type damage. I instantly throw the Sky Attack, and it's a Snorlax. So they actually brought the Snorlax back in, which is really interesting. And to that, I'm going to answer with Diggersby. They'll probably be running Superpower here, so expect potentially a Superpower and then a bounce. Superpower comes through, and I'm going to just straight up throw this Earthquake, and we'll see what they want to do. So Earthquake goes through. They do use their first shield, and then I'm not quite able to get to another charge move. Body Slam comes through, and it doesn't actually do enough to KO, so this is absolutely outstanding. Able to get to the Fire Punch, and they decide to use a second shield. So now I'm going to swap into my Galvantula here, and I get to the lunge before they're able to get to a charge move, which is outstanding. I'm expecting a charge move to come through from the Talonflame. It charges energy so very quickly with its fast move. Able to get to a discharge, and that's going to be a GG right there. Able to take that game. So able to go again, another 4-1, so another really solid set there. So really happy with that. So my win-loss ratio is actually doing all right, and we'll see what I get rewarded with Fluffy. So yeah, not ideal, but I mean, extra large candy being rewarded at the moment in Go Battle League, so happy days. So only managed to get, well, I say extra, I only managed to get one, so happy days, but whatever. So hopefully that was useful for someone. Thank you very much for watching, and that's me getting to rank 8. So like I said, hopefully it was useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.